Oh,
I heard there was a secret chord that Snyder played and it pleased Warner Brothers. But you haters don't want to hear about that, do ya? It goes like this, hash brown this, restore the Snyderverse, it must be piss. But you a piece of shit.
Shit.
How come you Snyder him but not me?
that's what Ayer's saying right now. How come you got him but not me? But anyways, okay. So starting with the actual spoilers from the movie, instead of the current stuff that's going on, we'll start backwards with the epilogue, the entire thing that happens. So this was all a newly cut scene, but it ties. It all ties back into what we saw happening in Batman versus Superman, where Bruce has his dreams or whatever, and Superman, yeah, right into his fucking heart.
Oh man,
Rips his heart like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber
Yeah.
with the fish scene. But dude, that's the only thing they filmed for the movie was that scene. They fixed Joker.
That and the Martian Manhunter scene were the additional sequences.
Yeah. Well, I think that was already there. They just didn't.
No, because the article, Zack Snyder said that Warner Brothers told him that they would give him the money that he could fix his version of it, but he didn't want him to film any additional sequences. He went on to film the John Stewart Green Lantern sequence, and they said no. And then he said, "Well, I had leverage, so what I asked them, I was like, all right, fine, I'll take it out, but I want Martian Manhunter and the Nightmare sequence."
Okay, yeah. All right, I thought that was the only one, but either way, those are two big, huge fucking scenes. Joker. Let's talk about Joker first.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, man.
Woo-wee.
Now, I think people are overdoing it a little bit, dude. I don't think that was a better Joker than Heath Ledger or fucking
No, it's not
Joaquin
that
Phoenix.
good. It's not that good.
But fucking compared to the Alito's last appearance as Joker,
Yeah.
shoot the gato, it's amazing.
I think it's one of those things, man. I think that Jared Leto performance was better than everything he had ever acted in Suicide Squad, and I know why he was so fucking excited. I mean, he was like, I get a chance to redeem my character. Zack Snyder wrote those lines for him. He looks like, gingivitis is the #1 cause of tooth decay. Like that motherfucker looked like he had been chewing glass for 3 years. He looked scarier. He looked more menacing. Yeah, it was great, man. And the thing, I really wish I'd been there. I wish I was a fly on the wall when Zack Snyder asked Jared Leto to come back, because Jared Leto had said something like, I was on tour, so that's why my hair was long. But he's a weird guy. Jared Leto's a weird guy. So he probably was like, sometimes when the planet aligns, I get a tickly feeling in my anus. And I knew that when Zack Snyder called me that the universe had said, yes, Jared, let's do it. He was great. But as far as him being better than Heath Ledger or Joaquin, no. I mean, he wasn't on the same page. He was good though. I mean, he's good.
And I think that we always knew he had that in him. Like, again, going back when we did our dream casting for the Joker, before Leto was cast as the Joker, he was one of our top picks that we thought would be a great Joker. What happened with with Suicide Squad? We've talked about it, so I'll be brief. But it was a bad stylistic choice, making him all fucking gangster and shit like that, and the obvious hot topic tattoos. It was a bad stylistic choice. That's not all Jared Leto. That's a little bit. You got to put that on David Ayer. You got to put that with what they did with him. But in this, man, he is, dude. It's just. I'll be honest.
It's night and day.
You took the same actor and you painted him in Zack Snyder's deep, detailed vision, and it's just goddamn gorgeous.
He like, again, he does a phenomenal job, and Zack Snyder filmed it exactly the way I think what he did honestly is he was like, I don't need to give him a lot of aesthetic for him to play off of. Jared Leto is already a pretty good actor. He's actually a really excellent actor. I'm just going to give him enough to where he has that to play with, and I'm just going to let him go. And that's what he did. And you could tell, like, look, Jared Leto, and that's what Mike had mentioned, that back in the day when we Dreamcast our Joker, Jared Leto was up there because if you look at his performance in Lord of War, if you look at his performance in the Dallas Buyers Club, if you look at his performance in Requiem for a Dream, this guy had acting chops. He knew what to do, and he knows how to take these damaged characters and really do something with them. So I feel like David Ayer was like, no, he's not that good of an actor, so we're going to make him like look like a 7-Eleven crackhead, and he can play off of that. And again, I like David Ayer. It's not that I don't, but I'm just saying, like, Zack Snyder's the opposite of me. He's like, no, Jared Leto's a really good actor. Let's just give him an atmosphere and give him something to play off of, and they did. It's like fucking like he was like, let's make him Scottie Pippen, and we'll have Ben Affleck be Michael Jordan. They play off each other really well.
Yeah.
So
Ayer, I love David Ayer. Like, he's made some end of watch fucking fantastic, but again, the bad guys in that movie were so over the top and kind of Rob Zombie-ish annoying. You know what I mean? Like, he makes some bad stylistic choices, at least for me. I don't enjoy some of his stylistic choices, but I do think he's a good director. I mean, the guy did fucking Training Day, right? You know, but at the same time, this scene, man, when it comes on and how crazy is that when the nightmare sequence pops on, all you have to do is look at the sand and the dirt and the sky, and you immediately go back to a movie that was years ago.
Look like my bank account.
It looks like my bracket. But you see exactly you know exactly where you are, and you know exactly what you're going back into, and it's so crazy. So fucking Deathstroke is there, right? And what's wild is there was that end piece at the end where Deathstroke and Batman haven't even. Clearly, Batman took his eye because Lex asks him, I think Deathstroke had already had an eye missing before. But he references it, right? I mean, he says something. No, he said
he was being an asshole. He was like an eye for an eye. He was just being an asshole.
But they have had run-ins together. It's kind of
they've had run-ins.
They had run-ins together already. We've not seen that, and now this takes place after that. Far after that. So at this point, Deathstroke and Batman have already had it out, which I guess you could say that's actually kind of a bad thing, because isn't that kind of like lesson if we did get a Batman Deathstroke movie, don't you already know that, hey, they're going to end up working together in the future? So it might take a little bit of the heat off of that movie, I feel like, if they do it.
It is an alternate reality. So, I mean, we don't know if the same things played out in the way that they would have played out in the other, in the original timeline. Yeah. And it's weird to me is the Joker mentions, he's like, is there, in all these alternate realities, you don't have the courage to die yourself, or, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, so are they aware? Have they tried to fix this before multiple times and it just keeps coming back and over again? So I was like, I was a little confused on that. I was like, so were they, because I mean, obviously Barry is there. And Barry, it references the fact that in BVS, he goes back in time to warn Bruce Wayne. So, like, is this has this happened multiple times? And these people like Mara, Barry, Cyborg, Batman, and Joker, they're all aware of these alternate realities that have existed, or was he just making an offhand joke? Yeah. I don't know.
It's not,
and you look at, by the way, when he says, you can answer the question, why send a boy wonder to do a man's job? Was he referencing, now a lot of people, was he referencing Dick Grayson? Was he referencing Jason Todd, whom he beat with a crowbar? Or was he referencing Damian Wayne?
I think that they have, I don't remember, because again, you guys, there's so much shit that's coming out. I think that they have nailed down which Robin it was based on some Easter eggs and stuff like that. I believe
Jason Todd.
I don't know which one it is, but I believe that they nailed it down. But either way, I mean, overall, we know that this Joker has killed a Robin before, right? Which is something that I would love to see in an HBO Max Batman series them cover, as well as what happened between him and Deathstroke. But what I find fascinating, dude, if you're Batman, like what skills does Joker bring to the table that after he wrecked your life and did all this horrible things to you, and he's a psychopath, and can't trust him, how desperate must Batman have been? Because that one scene where he's like, you still think it was a good idea to bring him along, and he's like, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine like what Joker brings to the table. Like,
okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ever. M. Labadia says Zach confirmed it's Grayson.
Okay. There I knew it was confirmed at some point, but I just didn't.
I thought it was Jason Todd just because of the Robin suit and the ha jokes on you thing. By the way, someone did mention this. I only saw it after someone mentioned it. I don't know if it was Paul Estrada on Facebook or somebody else, but they said that when you look at the scene when Superman is holding the corpse of Lois, that's in the Batcave. You can see the Robin suit in the background right before Darkseid grabs his. So I was like, and I think that, and that confirms it, because Zack Snyder at one of when he was talking about the potential for his release, he had said, oh yeah, that's when Darkseid boom tubes into the Batcave and kills Lois. So that was already established. That was pretty cool though. It was a neat little Easter egg there. But yeah, man, Jared Leto for the 5 to 8, 10 minutes, whatever he was on screen, totally redeemed himself. You totally redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
In the entire performance in Suicide Squad.
I just find it fascinating that Batman would be like, no, we need Joker. Like, we need Joker's help. Like, how desperate must he have been?
I think because Joker maybe had some kind of intelligence on maybe an underground Gotham subsystem that he didn't know about, and he had to have him. He also could have had like some kind of cult that was following him. I don't fucking know. I mean, he was dressed like with the Gotham back. I don't know. And then a lot of people don't. I mean, Amber Heard, yeah, she is Amber Turd for sure. She's not bad as Mira. She really isn't bad. I mean, I don't mind her as Mira. I think that she's a shitty human being outside of the role, but
right. But as Mira, I like when Joker called her fish stick. He's like, "Au contraire, my little fish stick."
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you know that vagina smell. That's what I thought he was mentioning. That's why I was like, but yeah, dude, one of the coolest part is like, again, the interaction between Batman and Joker, Jared Leto's Joker and Ben Affleck was so fucking on point, and that made me want to see a movie with Jared Leto in it as his Joker facing off against Ben Affleck's Batman. It's so good. And one of the most taken aback I was like, oh my God, girl, like this boy making me hot when he was like, I will fucking kill you. I was like, oh my God, boy, you said fuck,
dude.
Like I was like, holy shit, dude.
He's like,
and he's like, I'll do it slow.
I will fucking kill you.
And you saw Jared Leto start shaking like that. I'm like, oh fuck, dude. Like he was scared. He was like, you're good.
Actually was
you're
scared,
good. Yeah, it was cool as shit. And then when Superman drops down after he finds him and he's looking menacing. Do you see that little smirk that he had on his face when his eyes get all red? He don't give fucks. He's like, you killed my woman. I come for revenge. He's like, you can see, I love Joker laughing in the background, that menacing, like scary, like whatever. Because he was like, the jig is up, motherfuckers. You're done. But you know what? At that point, when Barry drops the helmet down, the Flash, and he starts gearing up to run, I thought it was at that point that he goes back in time to warn Bruce, because he knew they were all going to die.
Oh, that's a really good fucking point, dude.
It was like right at that point, he was getting ready to break the time barrier to go back and warn Bruce.
That's a really good point, dude. Hey, Joseph Ratzer, thank you so much, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. Thank you, man. He said, I don't have any questions. Just want to say you guys are doing a great job. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. That's really nice of you.
It's fucking super nice to you, man. But yeah, and that dude, like, so Deathstroke is there. He's got the badass mohawk. Yep. Cyborg's still alive. Arthur Curry's clearly dead. He's been killed. Yep. I don't know. I guess Darkseid killed him.
Showed it. I think they kind of showed it when Darkseid, when Cyborg is right before he brings back Superman, he stabbed someone in underwater, and then he uses his badass Omega beams. My earbuds came out. I Omega beamed my own fucking earbuds out. But yeah, that scene when Darkseid like stabs that Atlantean and the crown falls off, I think that was supposed to be Arthur Curry. And then yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean I read a comment that reminded me of something that we missed there. Brandon Hughes says Joker was pissed about Harley. That was one thing that Batman said in there, dude.
Yeah.
And I wrote a big long article on WeWatchedMovie.com today about like where I think they could go in the movies that they could do. And one of the things, man, when Batman's looking at him, not only does he said, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. He was like, God damn it, that was awesome. God. But he also says, he was like, I made one promise to Harley when I was holding her bleeding out dead body, that I would kill you. When I did it slow. I'm paraphrasing. That's not exactly what he said, but he says, I killed Harley and she made me promise that I would kill you and do it slowly. Dude, that means that in this past, not only has Joker killed Robin, not only have they had their entire history play out, but Batman has killed Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn. Imagine a Batman and Harley Quinn movie that ends with her bleeding out and begging Batman to kill Joker slowly.
Immediately, that's what I'm talking about. Zack Snyder understood the character of Joker, dare I say, a lot more than David Ayer, because he realized that Joker doesn't give a shit about Harley Quinn. They're not like, in love, EW, and all that garbage. It's none of that. Like, he uses her to get what he wants, and he could give a fuck less. He'd throw her away like, a goddamn tabloid magazine. He doesn't give a shit. He's in love with Batman. Like, his whole desire is Batman. Not like a sexual way, but just like a homicidal way. Like, that's his infatuation is Batman. Harley Quinn is just a side product that he uses to get what he needs and what he wants. So if she was bleeding out and dying, what pissed him off was the fact that Batman called him out on it, and the fact that she had made him promise to fucking kill him slowly. I'm like,
yeah.
He's in some bad. That's like, like, what Joker got shaky for? That's like if you're playing the NBA and you actually piss off Shaq. If you piss off Shaquille O'Neal because you tickled his nuts, it's bad.
I misspoke on that. Thank you, Stephanie and Mark. They don't think Batman kills Harley. He's just there when she died. And was holding her when she died.
Oh yeah, he didn't kill her.
I guess I took that the wrong way or whatever. But either way, that was fucking badass scene. And again, I would love to see that movie where that whole scene took place. I would love to see where all this shit took place. Which you can't tell me Snyder wants to move on, because I think he put this epilogue in there to show logs. to put in there.
Epilogue sounds like a discontinued donut from Dunkin'. Can I get that Epilogue?
He was basically Ben Stiller in Meet the Parents, when he's like, "Can you deal with that, DC? Yeah. You know what I could do? Can you deal with that? Huh?"
Hey man,
it's fucking wild.
Yeah, and again, you're right. I think purposefully filming the nightmare sequence and the Martian Manhunter sequence before that, the Jon Stewart Green Lantern sequence, I think it showcases, if anything else, the fact that he wanted to film additional scenes. Like, I feel like that was because he wants the fans to understand, hey man, I got a big fucking like idea for my universe, and I want you guys to get on board with it. Yeah. I feel like it was also kind of like you know that scene in Constantine when Keanu Reeves is being taken up to heaven and flips off the devil right before as he's going up. Like, I think it was kind of like one of those moments too. Yeah. I think he was like, no, I'm gonna stick this in here and fuck you.
I was thinking of Stuart from Mad TV. Look what I can do.
Yeah, hey man, it was a great scene, man. If anything else, that nightmare sequence should have whet the appetite for everybody to see more.
Man, dude,
and Joe Manganiello, I feel so bad for Joe Manganiello, man, because he really was psyched to play Deathstroke, and I would have loved to have seen a Ben Affleck movie with him in it as one of maybe the main villain, Deathstroke. Oh, and he knows his name. God damn,
dude, he should write a book. He should write a book just about his dealings with Deathstroke, and he should name it "All Dressed Up with Nowhere to Go," because they have gotten that guy on the fucking hook so many times and not done anything with him. Yeah, it sucks for him, and it sucks for Deathstroke, and it sucks for us.
Lucas Brunswick, I know Mike said he misspoke. We know, Batman didn't kill Harley Quinn. Yeah, I mean, we know that. I think the reality is Joker let her die or even killed her himself.
I imagined it that way in my head, though. Just the way he said it in my head, I took it as, I killed that bitch. I killed your bitch.
I feel like, I swear to God, dude, I think that Zack Snyder really, like, I don't think he played the games, but I think he was very familiar with the Injustice storyline and the fact that Harley Quinn was actually helping Batman when Joker gets killed by Superman in the Injustice storyline. But I think what happened in this particular is Joker either found out that she was helping Batman and he either killed her or let her die and be, killed by Darkseid and his forces or something. So
yeah. Juju32 says, I was mad on Snyder, but Snyder made me get it. Or the Snyder cut made me get it. And dude, the same thing happened with BVS, man. Again, if you just like this guy, you want to say something bad about Snyder, say this. Say maybe he has a hard time getting his vision across in 2.5 hours. If that's the worst thing you could say about a director, fuck it. Oh, we're going to give Scorsese fucking 4 goddamn hours on The Irishman. Yeah. Let's give Snyder fucking HBO Max 4-hour cuts all the way around. Let's do it 7 times.
And we're luckily we're living in a digital age right now where that's possible.
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's not like, and again, yeah. And look, again, I think that Snyder would have fought and he would have got the 2.5 hours or 2 hour and 45-minute mark for a Justice League movie if it had been his theatrical release, if the tragedy hadn't occurred. And I think it would have been heads and tails better than what Joss Whedon released in 2 hours, because he was going to stick to his guns. He was going to stick to his vision. He was going to stick to the people and the characters that he loves them as much as us fans love them. And he would keep the integrity intact. Whereas Joss Whedon came in, and again, I'm not saying it's all Whedon, but maybe coming in with instructions from Warner Brothers saying, hey man, we want it to be like Marvel. Whatever you got to do, make the cuts where you got to make them. You got to be like Marvel.
Yeah.
And that's all that happened. So
the fact that Warner Brothers asked Zack Snyder to release his unfinished cut before they said that they would do this tells you pretty much everything that you need to
that story
know.
It's weird, dude, because I was reading that article about him, and he said what happened is he screened the movie, the incomplete version, because it didn't have all the special effects or whatever, to the Warner Brother executives. They came over to his house, and he has that badass home theater. He got Bose speakers, and they all came in there, and he's like, when they saw the film, they watched the entirety of it. They were like, all right, you know what? Release the movie, but we're not going to give you any money. Just release it as it is. So there was going to be no special effects. There weren't going to be anything like that. And he was like, nah, I got to have the money to release this, bitch. And
that is like some punk rock shit right there.
But that's what Warner Brothers wanted to do. They were like, all right, you know what? The fans want it, so release it incomplete. but they'll get their version. And he was like, no. If I release it, I want it to be finished.
Yeah, if he released it incomplete, it would have proved everybody who's been naysaying about this goddamn movie, the goddamn John Campea is out there, all of them, it would have proved him right when they were looking at the fans saying, fuck you, there's no way you can get what you want. I'm a movie guy. I know what's going on. No, you're the exact same fucking thing everybody else is, dude. And y'all are. And you should just be happy for the fans instead of talking shit.
Yeah, dude. But he looked at fucking Warner Brothers and he said, suck my white ass ball. I need that $70 million.
Jason All said Joker was better, but expected more time with him. I think I didn't expect more because the only thing that they kind of fucked up on with those promo shots of him wearing the Jesus thing and all that stuff and holding the Batman mask is it did kind of make you think there was maybe a little bit more. But I actually only expected a few minutes, especially when you're watching the movie and you know you're 4 hours deep. You're like, okay, that Joker scene's going to be short, and it was.
How many? By the way, thanks for the super chat. How many skid marks do you think that David Ayer has in his underwear right now after watching that scene?
I bet he's pissed. Yeah.
I should have done more. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was dumb.
And I actually feel bad for Ayer because like he's just doing the best he could do. I just think that sometimes his stylistic choices just they.
You know what's gonna happen? I think the next time we see Joker under a David Ayer umbrella, he's gonna make himself like an appointment at the tattoo removal center. There's gonna be a moment where Joker is like, "Hey Harley, I don't want no beef with you. You got beef, but I gotta get my tattoos removed."
Hey dude, that's what Marvel would have done. They would have done one of those. Hey, when the Blu-ray comes out, we're gonna have a little like funny short. You know, like they did with the Mandarin, kind of. We're gonna have a little funny short, and it should be Joker going to the tattoo shop and cracking jokes. You know,
I would honestly at this point, if I were David Ayer, like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna put that in because he looks way better without the tattoos and shit and the gold-plated Master P teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Violet Rose. Thank you so much, Violet Rose. That's fucking nice, too. You guys are too sweet. Says, love you guys. Thanks for laughing. Thank you so much for that. That was a sweet super chat for sure. Thank you.
Zachary Bloom says, as many skid marks as Amber Heard has. Well, that's a hell of a lot. That's one big pile of shit.
So she's got some anger in her britches, buddy.
That's a lot of poopy on the underwear right there. And she wears the thongs.
Kool-Aid.
So that's spilling out the sides.
She'll poop in your bed, dude. Don't say nothing bad about her. She'll find your bed and poop in it.
God damn. You know, I never would in my life hit a woman, but my shit would be tempted. If I walked in and I saw this greasy ass big old frozen chunk of duty in my fucking side of the bed, I might either
you just smelled it and be like, oh, you got beef.
I know. I'll tell you what, I might put your face in it like a dog. You see that? That's bad.
Did you eat beef? Did you eat beef?
No, dude. Maybe I just pick it up with my hand, so pissed off, and just throw it right in her fucking face.
He threw poop at me. He's like, "Yeah, but it was your poop."
Yeah, I would. I would hope that she was drinking fucking wine out of a fancy goblet, and I would just drop that turd right in her fucking.
Kool-Aid Unleashed, one of the greatest names of all time. Thank you. Says, I'm going to send you guys something good, but I need to know first, what size dress shirt do you wear, Mike? I'd like to say, large, but I'm more of an extra large these days.
Hey, he's a powerful man.
I'm more of an extra large these COVID days.
Hey, because Mike's an outlaw. Quick on the
jaw. Eating Twinkies in my jaws.
Hey man, I'll tell you what. There's nothing. Hey man, you gotta feel comfortable.
I'm buying larger shirts. Promising myself I'll get back into the old ones. You know.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. We need to reverse time here. We need to go back into another segment. I think the best thing to go from here is another additional sequence shot that he shot with Martian Manhunter. Those are the only two that he shot that were new. Well, I mean, everything's new about the movie, but that's like actual new.
Hey man, as much as I fucking love it, the first one of those, because there's two, right? There's two Martian Manhunter scenes.
Yeah.
As much as I love this movie and this whole cut, I gotta say, dude, the fuck conversation between Ma Kent and Lois was so much better than what he did in the coffee break room in the
amazing version.
But coming out of that, I did think it was a weird choice, to be honest, to have Ma Kent end up being Martian Manhunter, because it's like
I'm not.
It doesn't kind of take off the emotional edge a little bit when it turns out just to be Martian Manhunter.
Well, I know that, and I apologize, I don't remember the guy's name that portrayed Martian Manhunter. He was in Man of Steel. He had a relationship with Amy Adams in some capacity, and he also had a relationship with Superman in a lot of ways, actually, in Man of Steel. I think it is a little odd that he chose Martha as the vessel to talk to her. But I mean, if he had come as the general, like, it might have been too weird. The thing about Martian Manhunter is a very empathetic creature. And I think that what he was trying to do was to make her understand. He did care. He does care about her, and he understood the sacrifice that Superman had made. And one of the best lines that came from that is, "I want you to come back to the land of the living." And it's great because of the suicide prevention and things like that. That was a great line. I don't, and I think it was intentionally written.
That's a good point.
For that purpose. I do think it's strange that he, it's not actually Martha Kent, but I don't mind it. Because that scene is powerful and I really enjoyed it, and it made more sense to get her, motivated to get the fuck back out there. And, you got to move on. Even though a tragedy happens, you got to pick up the sticks and keep moving. And I think that was the point. And I love that. And they could have left it that way. They could have had the glowing eyes and he could have walked out. You're like, I don't know who the fuck that was, but they showed full on Martian Manhunter. And I'm like, fuck, dude, that's badass. Because the reality is Martian Manhunter, I feel like he never gets used appropriately.
Or at all.
He's always an underused, and he's an awesome character. In reality, he's a strong, power level. I think that he matches Superman in a lot of ways. Like, that motherfucker is strong. He's so strong. But no, he really is, dude. Like, you're talking about, he's got the eye beams. He's super strong. He can fly. He's also got telepathy. He can phase in and out like Vision. Woo-wee. And he can warp, and he can change into whoever he wants. God damn.
We will need it in the fight against Darkseid. That's true, man. And in the end, when he comes up, hey man, that's like, I think you were absolutely right about that being an extra shot, because when Affleck gets out of bed at the end of that movie after having the nightmare sequence dream, he's looking fucking good, man. Affleck's looking skinny as fuck.
That was a lot of thing though. He did not have the same bulk as when he was Batman, when he was because you could tell, well, the additional, and I don't mind that. I'm not saying it should, but I mean, when he's Batman, he's full on fucking built. Like, he's built for tough. But I mean, when he's but I mean, he still looks good.
No, he looks great. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think he looked great. But you see these shots of him like getting his Dunkin' Donuts and shit from the paparazzi. You can tell he looks like the town skinny. He looks like he's fit and in shape, and obviously he's not drinking anymore and he's taking care of himself. It's good for him. Cheers to Ben Affleck there. But you could tell he looked good in that scene. But when he walks out there and he's already been through so much shit. There's a fucking alien like just floating outside of his house. He's like, "Fuck you, what, man?"
You know what? What's weird, and I like that scene too. I like, Martian Manhunter comes down, and you could tell. Again, I apologize. The actor that plays Martian Manhunter, or at least voiced him, he does such a great job of showing the empathy in his voice that he actually gives a fuck, and it's a very gentle kind of way that he's like, no one. I never thought I would see the Defenders of Earth united, but you did it. Your mom and dad would be proud. It was a really good scene, and I'm glad that it's in the movie, and it really looks good. I really do like it. But, I got to be selfish here. I would have loved to seen Jon Stewart as Green Lantern come down and talk to Ben Affleck. Yes, that would have been amazing. And again, people were going to be asking, where's Hal Jordan? What's going on? But that's the point. That would lead you into a Green Lantern movie. What happened to Hal Jordan? Where's he at? Because I swear to God on everything that's holy, dude, there's no fucking doubt, as I flip my cap and it goes on the floor, but Zack Snyder wants Ryan Reynolds back as Green Lantern, dude. I don't think at all.
They had a conversation.
Yeah, on Twitter, they were tweeting back and forth. Did you not, he was talking about he's getting ready to watch Green Lantern for the first time. He's like, hey, can we get a fucking Zack Snyder cut of this bitch? And the thing is, I think that Zack Snyder would have loved to bring back Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. Like, hey, we gonna treat you right now. I mean, you got a bad deal down the road, but guess what? We gonna put you real nice, and you're gonna come to the men's warehouse, and you're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it. And I think that's what would have happened.
Hey, Ryan.
But it's weird. People are like, well, they didn't want to see the Jon Stewart thing because Warner Brothers actually told them to take it out because they had their own plans for Green Lantern.
He literally told him, he said, they told me basically, we don't want you touching Green Lantern. I was like, God, you guys are such fucking dicks.
Stephanie Gall says Zach had a conversation with Ryan. So so there was that. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. But I guarantee you that Warner Brothers, you talk to that piece of shit. He's made fun of our movie multiple times. I don't want him back. I think that's ultimately what happened.
Probably. It was Harry Lennox, by the way, is the name of the actor that portrayed Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I love that guy.
Another great tie-in to Man of Steel, and we can touch on that real quick, going through the spoilers. The tie-ins in this movie to Man of Steel are fucking just amazing. And you can tell that Whedon didn't want that shit. He didn't fucking want that shit. Dude, my favorite scene in Man of Steel is when he goes up to the ship and his dad's talking to him, and he puts on his suit and he flies, dude. I get teary every time I watch it. And the whole "they will follow you into the sun, Kal-El." That dude, like it's just in the music. The fucking Hans Zimmer score comes on. By the way, this movie's the score in this one, fucking. I like Danny Elfman, buddy, but this was fucking legendary score.
The composure was great. Well, that I actually was gonna. I don't know. But when he goes back to the Kryptonian ship, and I love the fact that when everything is opening up, it does the same thing when they're going to bring him back to life, but the ship is reacting to him, and it's like showing all the different suits that he can wear. He goes purposefully to the black suit because he's still healing, and it's like the ship knows, and he knows that he needs that black suit to absorb the solar energy
to go grab that shit.
And I was going to say, and while Jonathan Kent, Kevin Costner is talking, and Jarrell, Russell Crowe, they're going back and forth, and it's in his head. As he's walking down the Kryptonian ship. Did they film? I would love to ask Zack Snyder that. Was that additional dialogue that they filmed? Because there's one scene, "Love them as we loved you," or was that in the Man of Steel movie? I don't remember if Russell Crowe's character said that. I have to go back and watch Man of Steel.
I have to go back.
But he's like, "Love them like we loved you," and then you hear Kevin Costner's like, "It's time to fly, son," or he's like, "It's time. The time is now," or something. I thought those were additional scenes or
they
audio.
may have been, because there was a lot there. There was a lot of dialogue going on in that scene. But dude, the same way that I felt that emotion the first time I watched it, and this has been what you said, like 2013. So this has been 8 years since then. Seeing him go back into that ship, and that entire scene when he flies again. Dude, the entire Superman thing was done so much better this time. Not only, and I've talked about it at length, not only him reuniting with his mom, and instead of being like, "You smell weird, Clark," this is Superman. This is these people's fucking lives. This is his fiance Lois. This is his mother. He comes back and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Hey, man, you smell funny." Like, that was fucking trash. It was trash juice.
You smell like vomit.
And in this one, it was so much better. Him going to the ship, him hearing his dad's talk to him and doing that was so beautiful, man. Him reuniting with Ma, so much fucking better.
Even going back to when he comes back from the grave, that sequence is still in there, by the way. We all know that. We're all here for spoilers anyway. When he fights the League, it's a better sequence. It's just way fucking better. It's extended. It's got more heart to it. It's got more dynamic to it. It's got better music around it. It's also got more depth to it. It's a big old fat cock, and it looks good. That sequence when he's fighting the League, but when he goes back to the farmhouse after he picks up Lois, I like the fact that Superman, he's still kind of out of it, and he starts remembering. Yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, she always loved it here." And he's like, "I loved it here." And then like, it was like a slow, you just fucking died, man. You've been buried, 6 feet under for a while. And he's like, you just got shocked the fuck back to life. How you feel? You smell weird. Like, but no, it's handled with a lot more care, and it's played out a lot better. And holy shit, man. When that black suit, I'm not saying it was as powerful as Man of Steel with First Flight. It was up there.
But it was a nice callback, and that's what I mean. Everybody wants fucking DC to be goddamn Marvel. Isn't that what Marvel does? You're in a movie 7 years down the road, and they call back to an emotional scene from a movie 7 years ago, and you get fucking teary-eyed because you're like, "Oh my god, there's just so many threads. There's so much different shit happening here." That's exactly what Snyder had in his original goddamn cut of the movie, and you took it the fuck out. I go back to the same goddamn thing. You have everything you're asking for, and you always shit on it. You shit on it, you shit on it, you shit on it. Not just that, dude, but the black suit alone. The fact that this movie was originally filmed wearing the black suit, all right? And for no other reason. Dude, at some point, and I swear to fucking God on my life this happened, and it boggles me, makes me fucking confused and crazy. It's fucking nuts, dude. At some point at Warner Brothers Studios, in a conversation between Josh Whedon or somebody or fucking someone, they actually had a conversation where they went, "You know what? Let's change the suit. I know that it makes sense and it ties in with the comic books and it's got a really deep meaning, but black is just kind of dark.
Yeah.
We don't really want to portray dark Superman, so can we go back and spend fucking retarded amounts of money to fucking make that suit blue, because we don't want people to see black because it'll make their little feelings feel weird and they don't want to feel gloomy. Fuck off. We're adults, god damn it.
I don't even know. I almost don't even know if that was Warner Brothers' decision to do. I still feel like that's a Zack Snyder or Joss Whedon bullshit. He was like, I ain't gonna put no black suit on him. Fuck that. Give me the blue suit with the red and yellow. Woo-wee. But it probably was Warner Media in some way too, because again, I'd already mentioned this. They could not wait to run up the escalator to fall right on top of that Mickey Mouse cock and suck that cherry flavored lollipop all the way down their throat, because that's what they wanted to do. And they were like, "We gonna get Joss Whedon. He gonna make the same jokes the MCU make. He gonna make the same movie.
And
we gonna be set. We gonna be sad." But it didn't work out that way. The black suit, the reason why, and it's not because it's edgelord. It's not because us fans are like, it's so edgy, bro. It's so edgy because Zack Snyder makes dark and realistic movies and it's gritty. No, that fucking suit was a part of his resurrections in the goddamn comic books. And by the way, it served a purpose because he uses it to absorb solar energy so that his body can rejuvenate, because right now he's too weak to do it. Did you not know that from the DC comic books? Do you just think that he made it up? Anyway.
Sitting on toilet. Sitting on toilet.
I get mad about that, dude, because it's like you just think that I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy to think that you got such a different version in Joss Whedon's. And again, there we find ourselves talking about Joss Whedon's cut versus the actual spoilers of the movie.
Angry.
But you can't help it, man. You can't help it. That sequence when he comes back to life, the whole entire resurrection was handled so much better, and it was so it just explains so much more, and it had more depth to it. I don't know.
And they took out. Like, you want to tell me, oh, DC is just dark and there's no humor in it. It's black and gloomy and no one likes it. Excuse me, but they fucking cut out the funniest jokes in the movie. Like the scene we're talking about right now, where Superman comes back and Flash goes to attack him, but he's like fucking he presses B and spin moves him, and then he runs into Aquaman, and Aquaman's like, and then he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, that joke was sucked out of the movie. Like, he took the humor. It's so ironic because everyone says DC and Zack Snyder are so dark and scary, but Joss Whedon went in and took out the funny parts of the movie. He made it darker. It's still shitty popcorn farts.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, I think that Zack Snyder, the reason why the jokes work so well is it's organic. Like it works because it's organic in the scene. It makes sense. Like the jokes I go back to Arthur Curry Aquaman when he's having a conversation with the Flash and he's like, "What do you think? Option one?" And he's like, definitely not option one. And he goes, option B. He's like, let me see one again. Like, those are just
good
jokes. They're funny though.
Yeah.
Because it feels like a team coming together. They're getting to know each other. It's organically flowing versus like, let's stick this brunch bullshit in here. What's brunch? I don't know what brunch is. Do you like Pet Cemetery? What is Superman's like Pet Cemetery?
Dude, I haven't looked at it myself to 100% verify it, but someone said that one of the intense, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I saw one of the intense scenes between Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf, I believe, when they had a very intense dialect scene.
Yeah.
I think that was the scene, but either way, someone said that they went back and watched the other cut, and Joss Whedon replaced that serious Wonder Woman moment with a cleavage joke.
Yeah, well, that look, okay, the attack on Stryker Island, when they all form up and you see them attack Stryker Island, and the first time that Diane Wonder Woman confronts Steppenwolf, she was fucking badass, dude. Like I'm not even talking about the bank sequence at the beginning of the movie, which was fucking amazing, by the way. God damn. But when you see her attack Steppenwolf on Stryker Island, and there's no, titty joke or vagina joke or whatever. It's just a badass fucking chick doing what she got to do to take down this horny bastard with his horns. I'm not talking about that he was sexually attracted to her because he's an alien. I don't know what he's into. Probably alien.
Couldn't blame him if he was,
But whatever. Yeah. You take a week off work to spend in bed with her. But anyway, my point being is like they didn't need to rely on all that bullshit. She's fucking great. you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when the sequence when she confronts Steppenwolf and that badass music, that great theme song comes on for her. It wasn't because, it's not, they didn't focus on that she's a chick, and they didn't do it in a negative or a positive light. They just said she's a badass superhero, and it's an awesome sequence. It reminded me of Ellen Ripley from Aliens, man. She's just fucking awesome. And you're like, I don't give a fuck if she's a girl or a guy. It's fucking awesome. And she's kicking the shit out of him, and it's badass, and I love it. And yeah, it was great, man. But yeah, like Joss Whedon, he was making those cheap ass jokes, and that was it. But now I wonder, I mean, you didn't really make those that much. I mean, you kind of did, but not really. In the Avengers movie, you didn't really talk about Black Widow's ass in those hot ass leather pants. I was looking at that.
They did the same thing with Wonder Woman, dude. There was another thing I saw where they were like it was a cool scene another cool scene that was cut. And they were like, the only shot that Whedon kept of this pivotal scene was the shot where it's zoomed in on Wonder Woman's ass and the pants. And I'm like, okay, so I thought DC was the fucking dark, like, ooh, sexual stuff going on here. But Whedon's out here like, hey, let's do a 7-minute close-up shot on fucking. And I don't have a problem with it. It's a nice ass, okay?
Yeah, but you're focusing on Wonder Woman.
I'm just saying.
Well, it's like zooming in on Superman's cock. It's like, look at that big old Kryptonian wiener.
It's like the reason he's shirtless when he comes back from the dead.
Well, you gotta, that motherfucker been working out the gym 8 months. Like, you gotta, he probably made it in his contract. He's like, if I'm gonna go through the trouble of like my pecs look this good, you gonna have me with my shirt off.
Hey, and good for him. Katie said that too. She was like, hey, wait, why did he come back from the dead shirtless but not pantless?
Well, that's a good point. He was so goddamn muscular that it blew up his fucking dress down shirt. Like they also rubbed baby oil on him. I'm like, yeah, like look, if you took that long to work out in the gym for that one moment when your shirt's off, I'd be like, I need some time off with my shirt so everybody can see what I've done, and then I'll eat some fucking ho-hos with you. But yeah, like, dude, the thing is, dude, Joss Whedon's handling of those characters it was so disrespectful in a lot of ways. He just didn't care. I mean, he took the time out of his day to make sure that the characters in Marvel were represented perfectly, and he made sure that they were accurately portrayed on film. And then in these characters, he comes in and be like, no, people want to talk about her boobies and her ass, or like, let's talk about, I'm not just saying he was only the women. I'm saying he probably did the same thing for girls or for guys too, but I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it's night and day different. It's just night and day different.
It is, man. There's two things, by the way, I want to talk about that. But first, catch up on Super Chats real quick. Jeff Harris, thank you, buddy. Really appreciate that. He says, just joined the stream after what Keaton said today. Do you guys think he's going to actually return for The Flash? It seems like his biggest concern is about COVID, which I understand. I thought they were filming next month. We did talk about it earlier, Jeff. It kind of seems to me like either he read something he didn't like, which he says he hasn't read the new update. Something has spooked Michael Keaton, though.
I don't know. I don't know if it spooked him. I think what's happened, and yeah, we did mention this earlier in the stream. I think I think they're having a contract dispute. I think that there's probably something going on monetary wise, or maybe not even monetary, maybe like screen time wise, that Michael Keaton and team are trying to work out with the studio. I think that's what it is. I don't think it has anything to do with COVID. I mean, that's a good cover story for it, but I think that he's like, I'm going to get back in that bat suit. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this or anything, but I've been enjoying my time off as Batman. I've been
Maybe I just don't have enough time for the salads.
I've been eating a lot of Twinkies and I like donuts.
He's like us.
So to get back in shape and squeeze my big fat ass back into the bat suit.
Hey. If that's the case, respect the Michael Keaton human being, because that would be us too, dude.
Oh, dude, I would know 100%. Like if you're like, I gotta lose some weight, you gonna pay me for it. Like, I mean, it's like I think that I think it's a contract dispute as far as money goes, or screen time. I don't think it's because he's spooked about coronavirus. I mean, at this point, people are getting vaccinated. I'm not saying everything is safe and hunky dory out there anymore, but I'm just saying, like, they've already proved that they can make films using social distancing and people wearing masks.
Yeah, Keaton's of age. He's definitely, I'd say, eligible to get the shot by now.
Well, I like how that article, that title, Keaton may not be ready to step back into the role of Batman. It's like, bitch, when it gonna be time? He's not exactly the young chick that he used to be. I mean, I hope Michael Keaton stays around till he's 125, but I mean, he ain't getting any younger. So I mean, when?
Hey, speaking of which, by the way, we do not, just so you guys know, we do not have a show on Wednesday. There will not be a live show on Wednesday. It will be on Friday, because speaking of the vaccination, I'm getting my second Fauci ouchie on Wednesday, and apparently it makes you pretty sick the second round. Now, I'm planning on not being fucking sick, okay? I'm really hoping I'm not sick, but if I am, I didn't want to cancel last minute. So,
Iron Wolf says, I thought Keaton was just gonna play Bruce, not suit up. I don't know. I mean, maybe that was the case, but I definitely think that at some point they've already said like, hey, it'd be really cool to see that 1989 Batman suit if you could like, rustle it up from the closet.
Yeah, maybe like stretch that shit out like a t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it'll look like I shared a picture last night on Facebook. It'll look like Fat John Connor trying to put on like the bat suit, but it is what it is. But no, man, I don't know. I think that I really do think that Michael Keaton, it's a contract dispute. I think that's the end of the day. That's what it is.
Yeah. Jeff Harris also said, also thoughts on that girl sniffing Aquaman's sweater. Do you think that sweater stank? Probably, that's why Aquaman, she cried.
Oh my God,
she started crying.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, she started singing like she was dying.
It smells
that wasn't
fish.
The reason why she was singing as he went into the water is because she was singing, "Thank God you finally got a bath," and 2, "I'm dying." Like that shit smelled like straight up dry ass and Cheetos left out in the sun for 3 years. Like it was straight.
Say where the smell goes.
Like you can look at Aquaman, and I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman, but I mean you could just tell for a fact. That guy doesn't bathe because he's like, I just hang out in the ocean all day. I don't need to wash my balls.
Hey, look at my body. I get laid either way, dude. It doesn't matter.
He's like, it's like, I who cares if I smell like a stinky foot?
Exactly, dude. Well, dude, and let's talk about that Aquaman scene for a minute because it kind of set the tone for how different things are going to be. Because I'll be honest with you, watching this for the first time, I sat there going, "Please be good. Oh, please God be good. I'm going to feel so stupid if this movie fucking sucks." You know what I mean? And I know you were too. Like we're waiting. Like,
dude, I'm not kidding. My the tip of my penis retracted quite a few inches into my my skin because I am circumcised, and I was like. But then when I saw the opening, I was like, we gonna be good.
Oh yeah, dude, to let you know. And don't get me wrong, we believed, which is why we've been praising and asking for the release of the Snyder Cut. We loved Man of Steel, we love Batman vs Superman. So we believed, but had it come out and it stank shit, it would have been a really awkward road like it is for so many who told you all you couldn't get what you wanted in the past. But
by the way, I'm just gonna cut in real quick. I'm gonna let you finish. But we're not saying that Michael Keaton doesn't look good. No, I'm gonna let you finish. Don't worry, I'll swallow it. We're not saying that Michael Keaton doesn't look good. Holly Roxy's like, I think that Michael Keaton looks good for his age. I think he looks fucking amazing.
I've never seen him look a pound overweight.
No, the only one that looks like he's got titties for days is Jack Nicholson. Holy shit. Did you see them movies
well, dude,
on that yacht?
He's way fucking older.
Yeah, he's old. But Michael Keaton looks good for his age, man. I saw him in Spider-Man. He looked fucking awesome. He was great as the Vulture. But yeah, I'm just saying, like,
we're just kidding. It's a joke.
It's a joke, man.
You know, he's out there in the UK. He's out there in the UK countryside dealing with COVID like the rest of us, probably pounding Coors Lights, and he's like, I ain't got time to get in shape for this.
Hey, man, if I were Michael Keaton, I wouldn't give a fuck about anything, dude. I'd be pounding back. Like, I'm talking about the full flavor Budweisers. I don't care about my body anymore. Let's fucking have fun.
Exactly.
Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Woo!
But no, that scene when it opens up, dude, the immediate as soon as you got that widespread scene with the fucking, I felt like I was watching. I don't even like Lord of the Rings, but I felt like I was watching Lord of the Rings tailored for Mike. Like whether that snowy Alps section, and then like Batman shows up and like he's just looking. There's just something cooler about it. The whole thing, there's just something cooler about it. The second though that those weird ass fucking Paranormal Activity chicks walked up and were like, "Who can say where the road goes?" But like in Gaelic or whatever they're talking. I was like, this shit's gonna be fucking weird, and I
was like, time has been really bad to Wilson Phillips. Let the shit happen. You guys find yourself on Iceland and you're singing hymns.
And she started crying and shit. You know what? The number one cock in the face that was like, this shit is different, and here's why it's different, is that I'm pretty sure in the Whedon cut, you see this big like fucking flop like a fish, like fucking Aquaman. You see him dive into the water and make a big hubbub about it. And this one, you don't see him, like he just disappears into the water. He's gone. And then they turn to the weirdo chicks.
Yeah, well, I think it's a lot more respect from the villagers. They show him respect. He's not worshipped as a god, but he's worshipped as a like a hero to them, like a knight, and they give him the respects. I like, you know what? It kind of reminded me of Conan the Barbarian, kind of like the same kind of like, I don't know. It really fit the scene, and plus they cut out that fucking garbage lines. Like, I hear you talk to fish. Like, it wasn't that snarky ass bullshit that, you know, that he was when he was having a conversation with.
Did they cut that? I thought that was still in there.
No, he didn't say, I hear you talk to fish. Okay. He said, the protector of the oceans
comes on the
Aquaman.
king tide.
Yeah, he's like the Aquaman. That whole scene is played out differently. The dialogue was added by Joss Whedon to make it funnier, where he was like, I hear you talk to fish. I was like, are we making a Super Mario Brothers game? Who the fuck let this corny ass motherfucker in here?
Fish.
Yeah, that was completely cut. And like the tone of that whole scene is so different. And there's a mutual respect amongst him and Aquaman. And like even when
they
he walks
totally
out,
cut out that drunk dude too.
Yeah, well, when he walks outside, he was like, "Oh, he mentions Gotham City. He's like, oh, that shithole." Like, I mean, it was so like again, the organic feel of it, the organic evolution of their relationship as the movie continues was on display. Where Joss Whedon was just making fucking like he was goddamn Grim Reaper, dude. He was fucking nope.
Can't have it.
That's
Can't
good.
Win with it.
Hey, guess what? You talk to fish. That made my 5-year-old laugh last night.
And the scene after that, when Affleck's getting off the helicopter and his hair's looking all fucked up and he's just looking like a handsome sumbitch, totally gone. The Alfred conversation was extended and way fucking better when he was talking, when he's shaving and shit. That was so much better.
And I love it too that Batman is not completely doubting himself every 5 fucking minutes of the movie, because if you look at the Whedon version, he is always doubting himself, like, I need to die. And then you have the Alfred, it's like, well, even you've gotten too old to die young, which is a good line, but still at the same time, it doesn't really fit what Batman was trying to do. It's like, I'm going to get these guys together, and then guess what? I'm going to go fucking kill myself because of fuck it. It doesn't make sense. It really, because every scene, it was Batman talking about how he fucking sucks. How I fucking suck. I suck. I'm not Tony Stark and I'm not Iron Man. I
wish I was a baller. I wish I was a little bit taller.
That if you look at the Joss Whedon version of Batman, he is such a whiny little pussy bitch. Yeah. It's like, God damn, are you sure you didn't get picked up and replaced by a Skrull? Because I don't think you're really Bruce Wayne. Dude,
and the fact that he literally cut out, like, some of the coolest things we've gotten from this entire late version of DC is some of the greatest scenes in the entire thing is Ben Affleck's Batman kicking the shit out of people because it's so violent and it's so gnarly. He literally sucked out scenes of Batman just beating the fuck out of people. Like, why would you take that out? Why?
Dude, one of the best representations of his competency and like the fact that he can hold his own and he deserves to be on this fucking team is the fact that when they go to Stryker Island and he jumps down there after Wonder Woman's whooping up on Steppenwolf, and he's like fucking doing his karate bullshit. He's breaking the goddamn gun. He's jacking the fuck out of a parademon, and he's taking them all on. And then he's like telling Flash, and he's jacking off. He's jacking off a parademon. And he's like, I'll take it down my throat because I'm gonna show you that I'm not scared. And then he's telling Flash, and he's giving orders out. I'm like, fuck, dude, that's the Batman that was needed a long time ago. And then when you get to toward the end, and he's like shooting people in the fucking head, and like he's rolling and throwing shit, and like explosions are happening, and buttholes are flying, and titties are getting hard, and dicks are getting hard left and right. Dude, this I could not believe that any of this was removed, because it's like you wanted to make Batman more of a pussy than George Clooney pulling out the Bat card in Batman and Robin.
That's true, dude. Let me do the super chats real quick and then take another PP break before we finish it off with some really good stuff. We still got a lot of shit to talk about. Mike White Jr., thanks, buddy. He says, "We's in the grindage." He says, after me and my wife watched it, the first thing I said was, Ryan Reynolds back as Green Lantern. Could you imagine Deadpool and then Green Lantern gets redemption? Dude, it probably should have fucking happened. I would have loved it.
I think that Green Lantern is the one that everybody wants to have the redemption happen to.
I agree with Ryan Reynolds, dude. You know what? That movie, not that fucking bad. Not that bad at all.
It's
really
weird.
Don't think so.
I actually just had that conversation with my brother Cody, and he fucking hates Green Lantern. I mean, a lot of people do, and I understand why.
Shitty CGI, sure.
But I wasn't like as mad about the movie as everybody else was. I think that Ryan Reynolds was a good Hal Jordan. I'm not saying that he was the perfect casted choice, but he wasn't bad. The CGI suit was garbage. I understand that wholeheartedly. And then they did rush into things really fast, and a lot of people were lost in what was going on in the plot. But overall, like, I still enjoyed it, man. Like, I think Ryan Reynolds, man, I would love to have him to come back as Green Lantern one time under someone like Zack Snyder and just do some cool shit.
Yeah, I'd be fucking completely down with it, man. I would like to see it. Dirk Jason all says, let's pray for Whedon's career, RIP. Yeah, it's not looking so hot.
Man, I looked at, people were like, they were ganging up on his fucking, on his Twitter, like people banging on the door at Macy's when Black Friday was happening. And like, he has not posted I have not seen a post from him, and I'm not on Twitter, but I just looked.
Not since November. I looked.
November, November, and I feel bad. Like I don't want people to go there and like give him hate.
I do.
He's a tool bag, yes, based on what he's, based on the actions that he took against Ray Fisher and other people, but. We have to have proof in a lot of ways. I'm not saying that Ray Fisher is lying or anything like that. I'm just saying we don't have all the story yet. And the fact is, I don't like anybody to be ganged up on. I don't care.
Same.
It's mean. I mean, at some point it's mean. So
and
he's just like, back off, enjoy this victory, breathe it in. Fucking, we're at the top of the mountain screaming Drago, and fuck it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, what we're talking about with Whedon and stuff is like we're giving opinions on a movie. And sometimes when we do that, because we're just two fucking dickheads on YouTube, Whedon would never give us 2 minutes of his time. But no. I'm saying, like, at the same time, I do think back, and you can't help but wonder, like, he has got to, like, if he logs into the internet at any point, it's got to be like, oh my God, it's just the world looking at you and telling you you're a piece of shit. And I feel bad for him. Yeah. And I hope that he realizes that this is a movie, this is entertainment, and I as far as what he did on Buffy or what he did to the women or any stuff like that, that's a different story. But as far as
when it gets full on truth, though.
Right, and we're talking about a movie. At the end of the day, the guy may have just done his best and made a shitty movie, and that's possible. And you'd hate to hear some news that, like, he was retiring from filmmaking or any worse or something like that.
I don't want to ruin nobody's career.
Exactly. So I would never go seek him out to look at him in the face and be like, you fucking suck, because I feel like he's probably been told that enough. So
by the way, Nick Bowman got it right. He was like gang up on WB to get the Snyderverse. That's what these are a multi-billion-dollar company, man. Like, it's Joss Whedon is a dumbass in a lot of ways in how he made the movie, for sure. But do I think that he did it alone? Probably not.
And hey, who's to say if you hadn't been like at that point, Josh Whedon, everybody was just filling his mind with "you're the greatest fucking thing ever," or "Marvel's all you." Like, you're taking all this. It would be hard not to get a big head and think you were the fucking cat's.
But again, we're not excusing him if based on the allegations, how he treated Ray Fisher. And the women on Buffy and some other things, if that all comes out to be true, he's a piece of shit and he deserves every bit of that fucking wrath, every bit of that fucking steaming dick. But if it's not, but other than that, like, that's not been 100% proven yet. I'm not saying
I get you.
I just don't want people to I don't want someone to lose their fucking job because people are pissed off about a movie that came out 4 years ago.
Yeah, we're talking about a movie. At the end of the day, it's a fucking movie. You know what I mean? But either way, and again, if you did all that shit, it'd be nice to hey, come out and say, hey, I made a mistake, and I my head was fucking huge, and I treated a lot of people like shit, and I hope you guys can forgive me.
Which would be a good idea. I mean, I don't know why you don't have a PR guy telling you that.
Yeah,
you should do that. Like,
exactly.
You should do that.
Dude, holy fucking Tits McGee on Texas's Short Shores. William Long with a huge fucking super chat.
He got that long dick.
William Long got that long super dick. Thank you, dude. Oh my God, thank you. He says, I don't know if you guys remember, but once I sent a super chat saying I respect Zack, but don't really care for his take on DC. But I have to say, Zack Snyder's Justice League won me over. First hour dragged a little bit for me. Understandable. Yeah, honestly, when they were in Themyscira, and that was one of the scenes that, like, a lot of the stuff was the same, even though there was also 1,000 differences even in that scene. But that was one scene where I watched the second time and I was like, okay, I know exactly what's going to happen here. Yeah. Can't wait for the next scene. I get what you're saying there.
It dragged a little bit.
First hour dragged a little bit for me, but as soon as they united, I adored the movie. WB would be stupid not to continue this. Hey, man.
That's the gospel of the day, my good sir, is the fact that we are discussing the very thing that you just said, is that the gospel of this film, the idea that it united so many fans together to make this film happen, and the fact that it's doing well, not just in America, but overseas as well. It's like it's breaking fucking records overseas right now. That's the point. Yeah, and again, we hope that this sends like a fucking shockwave up the buttholes of Warner Brother executives and says, hey guys, maybe you should let Snyder there have his creative freedom. Yeah. Like, why can't you be like goddamn Robert Kraft from the Patriots and tell Bill Belichick, do what you want?
Yeah, let the goose loose. Holy
like Bill Belichick's been in the news because he's been spending like millions of dollars, and Robert Kraft's like, hey man, build me a fucking championship team. I got your back. Have Warner Brothers do the same thing with Snyder.
But William Long, Dude, thank you so fucking much for that. Eric Burke with another huge goddamn super chat. You guys are being too fucking
We
kind
don't
to
deserve
us tonight.
shit, and we love it.
You're being too kind to us tonight. Really, really appreciate that support, man. That's fucking awesome. Thank you so much. So Eric says, love y'all. I don't have social media, so how do I know your live schedule? You know, that's a tough one. Because I know everybody.
What's your name? I'll send a raven to your home.
For sure.
I like Game of Thrones. I'll send a raven. And we'll find you.
I annoy the shit out of people on Twitter and Facebook because I always hear like, oh, I didn't know you were streaming, especially when we have schedule changes like this week. Instead of Wednesday, Friday, we're doing Monday, Friday. That's a fucking good question, dude. That's a good question that we need to think about.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't fucking know, man.
Oh well, Eric, I got you. You got YouTube, right? You have YouTube. There's a thing on YouTube where you can make posts. It's like a social media inside of YouTube, but you don't have to sign up for anything new, Eric. Nothing like that. But if you follow our page, there's a way to see what posts we make. And whenever we do a schedule change or whenever we do have a show coming up, I usually post there earlier that day on YouTube posts, and I'll say, hey, we got a show coming up at this time. But other than that, you can email me if you want to. We could probably figure something out.
You don't have social media, dick face.
He has email. Email's not social media, you fucking raccoon fucker.
I never fucked no raccoon. It was only possums, and that was on a Saturday last year.
Fucking aardvark.
No, actually, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, there's normally though we film Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's just been a kind of crazy, hectic week. But usually it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
The live streams are Wednesday, Friday. Yeah. Jay and I usually film live video or
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
recorded videos on Mondays.
I don't even know. I feel like Joss Whedon. I just came in and it's my show.
But typically you can rely on Wednesday, Friday. But again, check out the social media posts. And again, if you need to email me, we can figure something out. We watch movie 2 at gmail.com. Sebastian Taylor, thank you, sir.
You can also text message me. My phone number is 859-254-5405. Budget.
That's our number. I'm gonna. I was gonna say something about coming.
I really wish that we could get that number, like, and actually have an actual like red phone, like Batman does for the Wham phone, and like it could be like that number. We could advertise it.
Yeah, that'd be fucking dope. Sebastian Taylor, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. He says, "Hey guys, just sent you a DM on Instagram related to the topic at hand. Thought you might find it funny. Thank you, sir. We will check that out. And in the meantime, it is PP Tom in Texas.
It really is. I'm not lying, guys. I feel like Superman and all that water at the Kryptonian ship. It just keeps making me want to get up and go fly in the sky.
What I did miss is Mark Dorman. Thanks, buddy. He says, I just want to point out that one of Josh Whedon's pickup shots was literally the Flash pushing a pickup. Symbolism.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing about that particular scene is when the Flash is trying to rescue the family. Like, again, it goes back to the incompetence of the Flash. And the fact that he was like, if you save one person, you save. I was like, he doesn't need to fucking know this, man. He's been a superhero for a minute. And then you have the family, and it's like you wanted to do that to have the cutesy scene where Superman is carrying the whole fucking apartment complex while he's only pushing a truck. And then where he's like, you know, like he says the Russian goodbye. It was so corny, dude. It's so fucking garbage.
Agreed, dude. Hey, speaking of which, that's something we didn't talk about yet. The first scene with Wonder Woman in it, dude. It starts out the same. You have that Nolan feel when they're sweeping on the plains. Where they're sweeping over the city or whatever, and they go into it. Those bad guys are so much fucking meaner and scarier. They're wanting to kill kids. They're wanting to do. They cut.
You know what it was? They actually seemed like terrorists.
They really did. And
you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying like you should, celebrate that or anything like that, but I mean, they actually felt like a threat.
Guys, right?
Well, they felt like a fucking threat. They actually felt like guys that didn't give a fuck about human life at all. And like, it was scarier in that reason. And then by the way, I loved the fact that one of the extended versions of that fight sequence is they show how fucking super fast she can move when she was blocking the bullets with her bracelets. Dude, and so again, I love it. And then on top of that, when she like goddamn throws that motherfucker like she's a bill that she's not really willing to pay, and you see the blood splatter on the concrete wall.
Yeah, dude.
That's okay. That's okay because these are terrorists and they want to kill innocent children and men and women. So fuck them. And I know I really thought there was gonna be like somebody like Wonder Woman would never kill someone. So I guess that Warner Brothers hasn't learned from their mistakes.
I really thought that when I saw that, because when she throws these motherfuckers against the wall and their head, because I mean, let's be honest, that's what would fucking happen. If you're thrown with the strength of Wonder Woman against a brick fucking wall, your shit's gonna fucking blood.
I'll be honest though, I would be willing to be thrown as hard as she wants me to be thrown to a brick wall by her.
I'll take it. Squeeze me between your butt cheeks, please. Brandon Hale said, I cut means ICUP. It was a joke. No, we get the joke. We were just riffing on it.
No, honestly, I really didn't. It was explained to me while we were taking a break.
Have you never heard that?
No, dude.
Never?
Because when I never in my fucking life, I never did. No one ever came up to me in school and says, I cup, spell it.
I cannot believe no one's ever done that to you.
Well,
that was like 6th grade shit, dude.
Well, I'm sorry that you heathens had that opportunity. No, I never heard of it before. It's actually funny, but if someone said, I see you pee, and then I'd be like, when did you fucking watch me take a piss? You fucking pervert. No, but it was a funny joke. I didn't get it. I'm sorry that I was stupid.
Hey, Jay, what's up, dog?
Huh?
What's up, dog?
It's when you order your dog straight up. Your hot dog.
I think it's like, have you ever heard that? Like someone says, hey, what's up, dog? It's like, what's up, dog? It's like, I don't know, what's up with you?
No, I never
heard that. You never heard that one either? Jesus.
Fuck, dude. I lived a sheltered life, I guess. Fuck, it was like Bruce Wayne. Like I just the first sense of violence I ever saw was a Zorro movie.
Pug Jab, by the way, if you guys saw the opening to that break, with me and Jay working at the We Watched a Movie store, like we've always dreamed of doing, that is a man named Pug Jab, who he has a new one, by the way. He just sent me. We weren't planning on doing a break at the same time, so I didn't have it uploaded ready for a break, but he's the one that's doing those. They're fucking cool, man. I love him. He says, I'm watching y'all animating some fire for my own Wham fam as I watch this. Peace and love y'all. Hey, cheers to fucking Pug Jab, man. That's some cool shit he does with those. I love him.
Yeah, man. Speaking of the bank sequence, I guess was it a bank?
Yeah, it was a bank.
Yeah, it was a bank. It was a bank. It was amazing. And again, like they kept in the Joss Whedon version, it was still there, but it was like a husk of the actual scene. Mm-hmm. And when Zack Snyder is able to get his hands on it and show you exactly what he wanted to do, it's like injecting steroids right in the ass and then fucking lifting constant. Like you're gonna break the fucking world record. Like you see everything about her that's awesome. You see her superhuman strength. You see her superhuman speed. You see everything, and you see her. By the way, you cut out a scene, which is hilarious to me. You cut out a scene when she talks to the little girl and she's like, "I want to be like you when I grow up," and she's like, "You could be anything you want to be." You cut that out. Why the fuck would you cut that out? Like I don't get it. You're talking about one of the most beloved female superheroes of all time, maybe the best female superhero of all time, and you cut out the scene with a little girl where she's like, "I want to be like you," and she's like, "You can be whatever you want to be." Now, again, we're not a part of that. I'm not a part of the woke. Well, we neither, we're not a part of that. But it was a great sequence. It was a great scene. And you cut that out for whatever the fuck reason, because you wanted to reshoot it because you didn't like Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon. I don't understand. I mean, have you checked your blood pressure lately? Because I think you had a low blood pressure that day, and you're like, you needed chocolate.
It's scenes like that are so obviously good for a movie, and then you take them out. And again, don't come at me with this. Oh, Warner Brothers said he can only do 2 hours. He added like tons of fucking footage to the movie that didn't need to be there. He could have kept those scenes instead of some Russians under a table going, "What the fuck is happening to me cheese whiz?" Like it could have done anything.
What the fuck is happening to my cheese whiz? By the way, someone said, was it Whedon that took out the blood sequence? I'm pretty sure it was Whedon, and it was Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Because again, you're chasing after that lollipop dick of the Mickey Mouse Club. And they don't have blood in their movies necessarily. So yeah, the fact, well, remember in BVS, we didn't get when Superman was whooping ass in the warehouse. And I swear to God, we're not going to only focus on BVS or keep going back to it. But in the BVS scene, when Batman is unleashing fucking hell in the warehouse scene, the theatrical cut didn't have the full-on brutality of it. And then when you got the extended cut, you saw the fucking blood, and he's like, you just got fucking kicked by a dude that dresses as Batman because you shot me in the fucking head, and I hope you explode. And like
exactly.
but
shot me in the fucking head.
Again, this is why Zack Snyder's vision of DC is so much better, in my opinion, than what Whedon did, because you're getting a grounded, gritty, realistic approach of these superhuman beings taking on bad guys. And again, like Mike said, if you're gonna get kicked by fucking Wonder Woman, it's like getting kicked by Michael Jackson in the middle of his like high kick. Yeah. Like it's just superhuman. You don't want to get kicked by that thing. So
you don't want that. You don't want that smoke at all.
Yeah, man, that was amazing. That sequence was amazing. The only thing so weird, and it didn't address it in the Snyder cut, which is, it is what it is. It's strange to me. When they came out with Wonder Woman 84, it's so fucking weird. In Wonder Woman 84, she learned how to fly. Right?
Yeah.
And that obviously is taking place decades before BVS or Justice League. And when she grabs the bomb and she throws it up in the air, which is a great sequence, by the way, it's amazing. But why the fuck isn't she just flying, straight up and flying to take down the bad guys? I just, like, I don't know if it was like maybe the psychology or something of her character, like she's reserving it. I think
it's just a simple thing where that wasn't shot yet, so like, yeah. I get what you're saying though. It does seem weird there, but yeah, no, that whole scene's so much fucking better. And that's one of the scenes like Whedon and WB left that scene in. Like they left the scene in. The bank rob scene was all in there, and just the tiny little nuances that they decided to suck out of it. You can see right there how just letting a guy have his vision makes such a big difference. That scene is so much cooler the way that they did it this time around. It's so much cooler. Another scene, by the way, speaking of violence and shit like that, Mira, I think it's Mira, when she's fighting Steppenwolf under the sea.
Down where it's wetter, everything's better under the sea.
Gonna poop in your bed. But when she's sucking his face off, like Mark Wahlberg in Fear, when she's pulling that water shit and like you see his like guts coming out of his fucking face, awesome. That was so fucking rad, dude. Like another scene that was cut out. And then and I don't love the under the sea stuff that much. Like I'm not a fan of Aquaman the movie.
Well, I love that. I love that. Well, one of the under the sea kind of moments that they brought back. William Dafoe was restored and talking to Arthur Curry. And again, is it Volko? I think it's Volko. I think that's his name. The character that he plays. I didn't want to say Volkswagen, but Volko. But Volko, I think that's his name. Again, I don't know 100%, but I love that scene, and I love that he had the armor and his mother's trident. And he's like, it's time to take up the, your mother's trident, Arthur, and all this stuff. I love that sequence because, again, I don't know why you cut that out, because that leads you right into your Aquaman movie. Yeah. The fact that he continues, he's like, you don't sleep in the same place twice, but you keep coming back here, and him looking all sexy with the water dripping off his pectorials. He's like, I like it here. But the thing is, like, it sets it up perfectly for Aquaman. I love, and again, William Dafoe could sell me the shittiest fucking car on the lot, and I'd buy that motherfucker.
Dude, you know what happened to me? This is embarrassing to admit, but when I watched it, I was sitting there, I got the screener, it's on, it's looking fucking glorious, and I'm watching it, and the titles cards start coming up, and it's like Willem Dafoe. I completely fucking spaced on the fact that he was an Aquaman, dude. I completely forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Great. And I saw Willem Dafoe on there, and it was one of the first things I saw, and I went, oh my fucking God, dude, we're going to do some weird shit here where Willem Dafoe's going to show up as the Joker for a second. And I literally like pissed my pants for like 20 goddamn minutes thinking like, oh my God, Willem Dafoe's going to be the Joker. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, but he's
how much weed did you smoke, good sir?
I forgot. And when Willem Dafoe showed up and he was his character from Aquaman, I went, God damn it. That's who fucking Willem Dafoe was.
I didn't mind it though. Yeah, William Dafoe, by the way, some of you sexy ladies and gentlemen might not know that William Dafoe was considered to be a potential candidate for Joker back in the day, alongside Jack Nicholson. They actually considered William Dafoe, which would have been crazy. He might have been a really good one. I think he would have been an excellent one. But yeah, I thought it was good. I liked his character in Aquaman. My dick was already super hard, so I was like, if I get any harder, I'm gonna burst through my boxer briefs. I thought they were gonna bring in Patrick Wilson, dude, as King Orm. Like, I thought they were going to bring him in from Aquaman, where he was going to confront Arthur and be like, we don't have time for the surface dwellers or whatever. Like, I thought there was going to be a moment with him. Yeah. But it was still cool to see William Dafoe get some lines and to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. One of the more striking moments that happened in the movie that was completely cut, whether or not because it was unfinished or, Joss Whedon was sucking too much of that Marvel dick juice, was the moment with Iris West.
I want to suck him.
I want to suck that wiener. The
Bounce those
moment
things
with
like
Iris
Superman.
West, when Barry Allen is applying for the job at the dog shop and he runs into Iris West. That entire sequence was, by the way, the part where he's like, you know, pushing his finger through the glass and the slow motion, that was in the trailer. And it also started up a very important romance with Barry Allen by introducing Iris West. That chick that was leaving was Iris, and it was cut for why. It was a great moment. It was a great scene. I don't get it. Like in a 2.5-hour film, that scene would have been in the fucking movie. There's no doubt that scene would have made the movie.
The hot dog scene, which they did do the wreck scene, right? But they just didn't do it as well. Like they showed him saving her.
Yeah,
whatever,
but I mean, the fact that they introduced a pivotal character in the Flash's life in Iris West.
Yeah, and then
a huge moment.
The hot dog scene. Like, is that scene? It was a good scene. It was funny as hell when he's like that song's playing. And he like takes the hot dog. It made me laugh my ass off. But again, is that not the most Marvel humor you've ever seen in your life? Like the kind of thing that people talk about when like, oh, Marvel movies, they have these little breaks and they're so lighthearted, so fun and joyous for me butthole. That was a scene like that, and he cut it out. And it's almost like saying, nope, that's Fig's. That's Fig's toothbrush, and you're not brushing your teeth with it. No one sleeps in Fig's bed. No one.
Rameliel Dawson says the Flash scenes were fire. They were. They were sexy. And I love the Flash. He's probably next to Green Lantern. He's probably my favorite DC character out there. I love Green Lantern probably a little bit better, but I do love the Flash. I love his power. I think it's amazing. But yeah, dude, everything about what they, and again, it's not just the scenes that were reintegrated into the movie that were cut. It's just the tone of the Flash. Like it's the tone of that character. And again, he's not like a buffoon that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just push people and run away. Ooh, do you like brunch? It's none of that shit. It's like, I know what to do. I've done this for a while, but I've never worked in a team. So he's inexperienced, but he's still like he's a crime fighter. He understands what he's doing. So I like the fact that they put that in there. And again, I cannot believe that, again, you know what it is? It's Joss Whedon coming in with no idea who these characters are. Iris West is a huge part of the Flash's life, and the fact that you completely circumvented that scene, which introduces that character in a standalone movie that he was going to have later on, is fucking, dare I say it, 500 for stupid, Alex. Like I like, again, I don't get it. And yeah, man. Like, well, we'll get into that too. But the speed, when he enters the Speed Force, when he goes faster than the speed of light, god damn, dude. God damn.
Danny L said, this is true because I thought the same fucking thing. He said, I thought he was going to start sticking the hot dog in her mouth in and out slowly. Did you think that too? When he looks up and he smiles and he sees the hot dog and he itches it towards her face, I was like, is he about to stick that fucking hot dog in her mouth?
I might go a step further. I thought that it was like some like subliminal thing that he had a hard wiener for her.
By the way, one problem I do have with the movie is when that chick is laying, like the chick in Themyscira is laying with the horse on top of her. Why couldn't Mama Wonder Woman just pick up the fucking horse? Like, she's got super strength.
Because she wanted that horse to race in Kentucky Derby next year.
Sorry, but I'm tired. I'm not going to pick this, but I love you and goodbye.
But you know what? I did like that Themyscira scene, and I'll be honest. I'm not. I've never been a massive fan of the Wonder Woman character. It's not a character made for me, which is fine, but it's not. I mean, I like her. She's cool. But that reshoot that Zack Snyder did with Themyscira, god damn, it was fucking badass, dude. It reminded me of like them hoes be fucking ready to whoop ass, like Gerard Butler. Like they were trained by Gerard Butler in Sparta. Because it's like, she's like, I will bathe in your fear, and she's like, Amazon, show them your fear. She's like, we have no fear.
They were like your boys when you get in a fight in high school. They're like, you ain't got no fucking fears.
Yeah, dude. I was like, it was like a fucking Cobra Kai moment. It was cool as shit though, man. I gotta be like honest. Like that was some badass shit. Yeah, it was great. That extended moment was really good. And you just can't put into words how amazing it was. I really think the moment that well, actually leading up to that moment when Cyborg is talking to them about the mother boxes, and they're all gathered around the mother boxes, and they're like, "Are you guys thinking the same thing I'm thinking?" And like, I'm not gonna say it. And then the mother box visualizes Superman coming back to life. It was fucking amazing. And then it was a really cool moment. And again, it just shows you, man, how much was God. It is.
Oh, that
fucking Warner Brothers.
I'm struggling to come up with like all the things that we haven't covered yet, but I did just think of one. We were talking about the Flash earlier when all the shit's going down and all the things are happening, and Cyborg's waiting on. He's like, "Come on, Barry, fuck!" He's in this. He's fisting the fucking mother boxes, but the mother boxes are doing what he wants it to do, and they're waiting on the Flash, and like Flash is
like you're hitting that G spot, but she's not reacting. You're like, I read about this. This is supposed to be your G spot.
I can't get any big. But he's and it's like, I'm trying, goddammit. But when Barry gets hurt, the way that and you know what, I'll be completely honest with you guys. Idris Elba, not fucking Elba. What's his name?
Ray Fisher?
No, the actor that plays Flash.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. I'm not that big of a fan of him. Like, I think he's fine. But the whole Flash with this thing, it's not like the way I would have done the armor. It's very mechanical, and it seems weirdly slow. Like
it kind of looks like the Injustice armor.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, I fucking love this movie, but that's always been a choice that I've never been like wowed by. And him as an actor too, like it's fine. I've just never been like really interested in it. It's not my favorite thing. But either way, what I will say is when he gets hurt, though, what I really did respect that he did is when he gets hurt and he looks down and he's like, "I'm trying, just give me a second. I need my fucking breath."
Yeah, I love that.
That acting performance in that which by the way wasn't in the original cut, of course.
Yeah.
But that acting moment that he had right there, where he was really fucking scared and he was in over his head and he was hurt really badly and he didn't know if he was going to heal and everybody was counting on him. It was a really touching scene, and like you felt like you were watching a kid having to try to save the world because he was scared. And like I
like that scene a lot. And yeah, and the act. Well, I liked that one movie that he was in, Flowers on a Wall. I don't know.
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Perks of Being a Wallflower. I thought he was really excellent in that movie.
It was.
I thought he was great, and I liked him as Barry Allen. I know a lot of people wanted that kid from the WB to be the Flash. He's all right. I don't know. Yeah. He's not bad. But I mean, I'm glad they went with Ezra Miller. But the acting, that moment, I actually was a little teary-eyed about that, because he was like, he's trying and he knows he might die. I mean, that was a brutal fucking wound, and the fact that he's not saying like, he's just saying like, "Oh, I got the wind knocked out of me," and like a whole fucking side of his gut, the chunk of his side is gone.
Yeah,
which is fatal in a lot of instances. But he's gonna press on because he knows the team needs him. Is great. It was a wonderful scene. It really was. It showcased his acting ability really well, and I liked it. And then it leads into the moment when Superman shows back up.
Oh fuck!
Heads and tails different than Joss Whedon, I don't know, just spraying his load everywhere and be like, "This is the way that we do Marvel."
When he was like not impressed, dude, I was literally cheering.
He drops right behind Cyborg, and then the axe comes down. He's fucking like, whatever. That hurt worse than, I don't know. That hurts worse. I'm sorry. That hurt less than when my girlfriend broke up with me. I was trying to come up with something and nothing stuck, but. Yeah, and then he uses his freeze breath and breaks the fucking axe.
Sick, dude.
And then whoops his ass constantly, and it's way better than Joss Whedon, because Steppenwolf is still a threat. But you see the teamwork. And then you get the decapitation by Wonder Woman. God damn, it's sexy as fuck, and I like it. It's fire. And then you get that moment where Darkseid is just like kind of staring at him. He's like, "You hurt my cousin. I'm coming to your house." And then Superman's
this
like,
"Motherfucker, for real."
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, well, you know what? I'm waiting on that with that natural light." You froze for a second. I froze or whatever. But yeah, dude, the stare down between Darkseid and Superman and the Justice League was fucking incredible. So much better than what we got, and we finally got what we deserved. But yeah, dude, that was a great scene. That moment was just really, really it's hard to explain, man, because it's like when you literally see the Justice League staring down Darkseid, and then he's like, "We'll use the old ways." When he's talking to Desaad and that one motherfucker that looks like he surfboards all day, the human guy, I know who that guy is. I just can't remember his name. Dude, God damn, it just makes you so mad, dude, that we had to wait all these years to get it.
Yeah, it's true, dude. And then, by the way, I'm gonna start using we will use the old ways like all the time in my life. Like every time I try to do something outside that I think I can do myself. And
by the way, I also want to
like,
point out. Well, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, my wife's like, no, we should just pay someone to do that. And I'm like, no, I can do it. I can figure it out. And then like I can't because I don't have the tool for it. I'll just stand up strongly and be like, we will use the old ways. We will call Roto-Rooter
That's a good one.
to come and do this shit.
Yeah, or like if Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, and all the other streaming services go down, they're like, we don't have anything to watch. We will use the old ways.
Pull out a
Pick
DVD.
a movie. Pick a movie. Yeah, dude, and also a really touching scene, and I really did love this scene a lot too. The Ray Fisher moment when he enters into the mother box's consciousness or whatever, and he's gonna separate them, and she's like, my broken boy, and he's like, I'm not broken and I'm not alone. Like, I was like, fuck, dude, that was so good. That was a really good moment. That was a really touching moment because, you know, Victor at that point he was a broken guy. He didn't, you know, feel like his gifts were worth shit, like, or gifts, what as he called them. And him to say, I'm not broken and I'm not alone. Like, it was a unity moment. And he's like fucking separating them.
Yeah.
It was so good. The acting is off the fucking charts. Amazing.
And again, dude, they went through this thing with a fucking scalpel and they took out every emotional goddamn moment. They really fucking did. When Cyborg's dad dies, completely different scene than it was before. It went the scene afterwards where Cyborg,
and he sacrificed himself for a reason.
Exactly. And when Cyborg's staring off into space and Aquaman's like, you know, we're asking a kid who just lost his dad to fucking save the universe.
I love that. Like, I love that.
All just little tiny moments, man, like little 30-second, 10-second like lines. That's the only reason I ever go when I look into this and I go like, a fucking 5-year-old would realize that is important to the goddamn movie. A 5-year-old would. So if you're taking it out, then you got to be doing it on purpose.
Yeah, or just, you know, someone blew alcohol in your anus and you're trying to recover from it the next morning.
Been butt chugging all night.
Yeah, you've been butt chugging all night. But, you know, also you're looking at, even Aquaman. Yeah, exactly. Aquaman, where he's like, you know, he just lost his father. He's not the dude brah guy anymore. Like, he actually gives a fuck. And I like that when it looks, the camera's on him and he's looking over at Victor when he's like, I couldn't save my dad. And then you hear Flash say, oh my God. And then he looks over, like you could see the concern on Momoa's face, like him portraying Aquaman. He's like, his dad would still be alive if we hadn't done that. I love, like, the whole moment was great. And then when it, you know, skip ahead a little bit and Aquaman is talking to the Flash and he's like, we're asking a kid to, you know, take on these ancient fucking things who just lost his father. And he's like, and then the Flash says, I thought you didn't care. And he's like, I never said that.
Yeah.
I mean, can we say 100% that's way fucking better than the lasso of truth scene on Joss Whedon when he's sitting on it? And he's like, I think we're all going to die, but I have a lot of things I want to do. I mean, one day I want to surf in Malibu. Like, it's,
I will say
stupid.
that was a funny scene. I did like that scene.
Well, I mean, but it was comparative,
Yeah.
Like, no, fuck that scene.
Yeah.
Give me the other scenes that built Aquaman and that as an actual character.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of which, I really do. I appreciate all the character arcs, and I love that the care, dude, the care that Zack Snyder showed each individual plot line as they unfolded was amazing. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are gonna say, like, well, you had 4 hours to do it. I know, but even in 2.5 hours, I think he could have done a better job than Whedon did.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, dude, how many hour and a half long movies do we watch and we're fucking bored through? You know, how many hour and a half movies, like especially screeners and stuff that we watch to see if we want to do a review for a movie, and we'll watch it and you're like 20 minutes in, you're like, God damn, man. This was 4 hours fucking long, and I watched it twice, and I did not bat an eye either goddamn time.
By the way, JT Customs, I'm going to answer your question. Yes, Ryan Cho, I can't remember. I think it's Cho. The Atom. Amazing. I loved it. And he was completely cut out of the movie, which is I cannot dude, it's Atom. It's fucking the Atom. A badass fucking character. I love it. I love the inclusion. I love the inclusion of him. He's a badass superhero. I like the Atom a lot. And by the way, just to answer the question, because I know it's come up, he would whoop the fuck out of Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man a lot. He would whoop the fuck out of Ant-Man. This motherfucker can shrink down on like in a way that Ant-Man can't do. Like this guy, his name's the Atom for a reason. I love that scene. And I love the fact that they named him. And again, you know, Zack Snyder had plans for the Atom. Like they apparently they were going to take place. The movie was going to take place. I don't know if it was in China or Japan. The entire movie was going to be set there. So Zack Snyder definitely had plans to have an Atom movie, which would have been amazing. I mean, he's a great character. I love that character. So definitely.
Yeah. Austin says young Jim Carrey as the Flash, just pantsing parademons and riding Boner Lord on Steppenwolf's forehead. Hey there, hi there, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. I love you. That's fucking great, dude. I love it. Yeah, I'll say this about the Flash, man. Even though it's clearly better in this movie than it was before, I feel like we have yet to see Grant Gustin in the CW Flash included, Ezra Miller in this Flash included. I feel like we're yet to see the Flash on screen that levels up to the animated DC movies Flash that we get. Like I haven't seen a Flash that I really love on screen yet. I just haven't.
You know, it's weird for me. The Flash that I really did love a lot, and I know that I know it's corny, and I get it. But the early 90s pilot, they made it into a movie. The Flash in 1990 or 1991, that dude was amazing. That suit looked fucking awesome. And I know it was corny in 1991, but he plays Grant Gustin's dad in the Flash WB series. He was the original Flash. Yeah. In the early 90s, that guy, and the fact that he was an older dude, and that's, dude, it looked fucking awesome. But yeah, I don't mind Ezra Miller. I like if they were gonna go with Ezra Miller as their future Flash, I'd be fine. Grant Gustin is fine. I don't mind Grant Gustin. But I would like to move away. Like, could you have cast an older, more mature Barry Allen? Yes, and it would have been fine. But Grant Gustin looks like he barely got out of fifth period in sophomore year, and he's still trying to figure out where his classes are. I don't want that young of a Barry Allen. Ezra Miller is a young looking guy, but he looks like he just looks like he's been through more shit than Grant Gustin. And having Grant Gustin on if he was put in the role of the Flash, I wouldn't buy it. I'm like, I don't know. Because I will agree 100%. You're going to throw Green Arrow in, definitely use that dude from Arrow. I can't remember his name. Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell, yeah.
Stephen Amell, yeah. Use that dude. Like that dude.
Great Arrow.
Yeah, great guy.
And I feel like we've covered everything from the movie. Again, if you guys don't know, it's a 10 for both of us. We both fucking loved it. We just talked. It's probably in our top 5 superhero movies of all time. We're not going to go as far as crazy to say it's the best superhero movie of all time, but if you think that's cool too. But it's top 5 for me, I feel like.